Hello, just bring you back with a story with no moral or punchline or ending to it. And completely unrelated, this rally is from 1996. It's a Rally Chromo Max 2. Me and Tony, old man Tony, we think we got the same bike or near enough the same bike. So anyway, story for no other reason than I was just having a chat with old man Tony. In 1984, when I was 16, just coming up to 17, I started a job at Dormobile in Folkestone, where we built Volkswagen campers, ambulances, public service vehicles, parcel vans, local authority vans, city buses. Basically, we get chassis in from anywhere and we would build what the customer wanted from scratch. So we did coach building, we did electrical, we did trim, we did fiberglass roofs, we did paint work and everything. So me and a bunch of apprentices at Dormobile, in our second year, I think it was 1985, our second year, our team coach, the apprentices, the guy in charge of the welfare and the training of all the apprentices, that I can't remember his name, I think it was Ross, or maybe his second name was Ross, long time ago. He entered us 6 lads into a 24-hour pedal car rally in Luton. So we were down in South Kent, and the rally was in Luton, north of London. Not North London, but north of London. So we proceeded to build a vehicle, and it was going to be a pedal car. Ours had 4 wheels. I can't remember whether you were allowed to have 3 wheels or not, but anyway, so our first time ever, we hadn't ever been to this competition and we hadn't seen the competition, who included British Aerospace, British Oxygen Company, Rolls-Royce, Jaguar, Daimler, Land Rover, and some pretty high up names in the automotive engineering and physics and science fields. So not daunted, we built a Mad Max monster. We used inch by 2 inch mild steel box section tubing, welded it all together. It was recumbent style, I think you call it, where your feet are up in the air, pedals in the front, and then your steering is a set of handlebars underneath your knees, underneath your legs. We had Pooch Maxi moped wheels, which were made of metal and very heavy. We had seat, I think it would have been some sort of spare seat from a Land Rover, like a jump seat from a Land Rover, and a lot of cogs and a lot of chains. And we ended up with, I think, from very vague memory, 3 sets of gears, 1 on the front cog, so maybe 5 gears on the front, 5 in the middle and 5 at the back. Way too overcomplicated. So anyway, we built this massive, horrendous Mad Max beast, stuck it in this military trailer and hooked it up to a military Land Rover, long wheelbase Land Rover with like long lengthways bench seats in the back. We had a great big sort of olive green army tent and loads of army surplus stoves and things. Now, I'm pretty sure that Ross, or Mr. Ross, whichever way around it was either ex-military or he was territorial army, so everything we had was olive green, and which probably got me interested in camo and olive green stuff. So off we went, the 6 of us lads, plus Ross, or Mr. Ross, up to Luton, got there, and the circuit was in like a public park with ponds, lakes, and pretty benches and lots of grass. And the circuit was round this beautiful tarmac. Basically, would have been a path going all the way around this park. Unfortunately, in Luton, in this park, the elevation changes. I don't know what they were, but it was very steep. There were some proper steep hills. So one part of the track was down by the ponds, lakes, and the other part was up the top of the hill or valley or whatever it was. So that was a bit interesting because we built a vehicle stupidly thinking that we were maybe going round a big flat go-kart track, and once you get your momentum up, it would go faster and faster and faster and faster. Well, this thing would go really fast downhill, but uphill, not very fast. So there were 6 of us, and we were going to do 4 hours each, but I think we were going to split it up into an hour each over the 24 hours so you'd do an hour, you'd miss 5 hours, go and have a sleep in the tent, and then come back. Well, this thing we built was so heavy, we ended up maybe doing, I think, 3 or 4 laps each, so about 20 to 30 minutes each, and then you just physically couldn't pedal the thing. And I think out of the 15 or so gears, we ended up using the first 3 gears, going up the hill, and then coming down the hill. You just coasted. You were so tired by the time you got to the top of the hill. On the way back down, you push off, and then the weight of this thing, you coasted. And then at the bottom, there was a sharp sort of 90-degree bend right at the bottom of the hill next to the lake pond. You had to get your braking in about 100 yards before you got to the corner. So we weren't deterred, and we did the 24 hours. All of the other teams, which were all really high-tech people into, physics and science and all this sort of space technology, were in these fiberglass-clad, faired, land speed record-looking type rocket ships. So they were quick. Well, at the end of the day, we came almost last out of however many entries there were. I can't remember how many entries there were, but I think there was at least 30 companies, maybe more. I think we came last of all the people who were still running. Any teams that had crashed out with their delicate rocket ships that were unable to carry on, we beat them. Because we were still running at the end of the day, because our machine, although it was the slowest on the track, it was the strongest. So each time we crashed it, and that was a lot, we'd just roll it back over and get on it and carry on. It was also really good at fending off other people's crashes. When they crash into you, their machines would explode into a million pieces, and we'd just carry on, sail on. So we weren't deterred. We'd taken part. It was brilliant. And the next year, we were entered again into the competition, and we were mentally prepared. So we built our machine out of titanium tubing. We used composite BMX wheels, lightweight. I'm not sure what they were. It wasn't. I don't think it was carbon fibre. I don't think that was really around then. But anyway, composite plastic wheels. We figured out all the gear ratios for the elevation of the land. Instead of having 15 or however many gears we had, I think we stuck to 5 gears in the end. Off we went. All the competition was there. Rolls-Royce, British Aerospace, BOC, Daimler, Jaguar, Vauxhall, some Vauxhall racing team, you name it. So we did the competition, and we came 3rd out of all of the 30 plus teams that had entered, and proud we were. So that's the story. If there is a moral to the story, it is probably If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. I think that was accredited to Robert the Bruce. Probably not, but I'll just in my mind think it is. So yeah, we were very, very proud the second year, and it was great fun both years. The first year was great fun because we were crashing permanently, and it was brilliant. Demolition Derby, right up my street. But anyway, also leading from that, I was having a chat with Tony about cycling, and in the 6 weeks before, I think we had 6 weeks to start and build the machine before the competition. And in those 6 weeks, I would cycle to work from Lymm, near Hythe in South Kent. That's spelled Lympne, to Cheriton in Folkestone, Tile Kiln Lane in Folkestone. I'm giving you all these details in case anybody knows how to work out how far that is on a map. In my head, I had 21 miles, and I was cycling to work every day from Lymm, basically Port Lymm Zoo Park, to Tile Kiln Lane in Cheriton, Folkestone. In my head, I had 21 miles, so I thought I was doing 21 miles there and 21 miles back. But I've had a quick look on Google Maps, and I don't think it is. I think it was probably 10.5 miles there, 10.5 miles, but making 21 miles altogether. But I don't know how to do it on the techie phone app, Google Maps thing. So if anybody can work out how far it is from Port Lymm Zoo Park, near Hythe in South Kent, to Tile Kiln Lane in Cheriton, Folkestone, if you can figure out how to, please let me know how many miles I was cycling. I used to normally go to work from 1984, when I was 16 going on 17. I bought a brand new, I didn't, my dad bought, mum and dad bought a brand new Yamaha 50 Townmate step through for me to get to work on. It was basically like a Honda 50 Cub, but it was a Yamaha. But the cool thing was, it was fully automatic, but on the gearbox, I say gearbox, I don't even know what was in there, I never looked. The sort of drive output part of it, there was a lever, and if you crank the lever over, I think you had to stop and be stationary. You crank the lever over and it put it into low ratio. So if you had a particularly steep hill, you could get up it, albeit about 10 miles an hour instead of the 30 mile an hour max in high speed, high ratio. Now between Hythe and Lymm there was a proper steep hill, because Hythe was right down in the sea level, and there was a canal there, and there was Hythe was at sea level, and Lymm, where I lived, where Port Lymm Zoo Park is, and Lymm Airport, where Wings, Paul McCartney's band, recorded Back to the Egg in a hangar in Port Lymm Zoo Park. At Lymm Airport. Anyway, it was a bloody great hill, and I used to put it in low ratio and go up the hill, but only if I was going through Hythe. If I was going through from Folkestone to Lymm home, it was the A20. So it was basically, thinking about it, the way to work would have been a very, very gradual downhill, and then it would be uphill on the way back, although Folkestone is also mostly on top of the cliff, so the elevation wouldn't have been that drastic. But anyway, so I used to ride to work and back on a moped, and it was brilliant. And I used to pay for the moped brand new, including a crash helmet, tax, road everything, and gloves and all the stuff I needed, was £400 brand new in 1984. 4, and I used to pay back my parents. I think I don't know. I think half of my £26 a week I used to pay back the motorcycle, the moped. So there's a waffly old story for you. I don't know why I've gone there, but anyway, mainly for Tony's interest. So thanks for listening. And I went all a bit Ronnie Corbett there, didn't I? Going off onto all the... I should have put my glasses on. The producer. Oh no, that's the other one, isn't it? That's not Ronnie Corbett. Who is it who goes, ho, ho, ho? God. Oh, the famous duo from the 70s. Oh no. That's killing me now. See him in my brain. Morecambe and Wise, Eric Morecambe. Ho, ho. No. Ronnie Corbett used to go, no, the producer. I don't do impressions, especially of little Scottish chaps. I've been Springy. Peace and love. See you later.